Mzansi, remember when I told you about Gemini CLI? Well, I have a story to tell you today. So yesterday I was working on a new project. I won't get into what the project is all about. It's still early stages, so later on in the progress I'll give you an update on that. But I was working on it and I ran into an issue that I wasn't able to solve on my own. So what I did do is I went over as per usual and headed over to Gemini, the normal chatbot, and tried to get Gemini to help me. But still, no luck. Gemini wasn't able to assist me with this. Then I thought, you know what? It's a perfect opportunity to try out Gemini CLI, learn how that works, and maybe get a little bit more comfortable with it. And Mzansi, thank you so much for all your feedback and comments in the last video of ways that I can improve my agent experience. So I won't highlight everything that was said, so I'll just highlight two of them, which I thought was the most important. So the first one is creating a separate Git branch, so that the agent can do work over there. If it does nonsense, if it does garbage, you can always revert back to your previous code. And number two, create the .md file. So .md file is a markdown file. So this file is basically a file to tell the agent the context of your project, what's your goal of what you're trying to do, and all of those kind of things. So the agent can be more aligned with you. So I set all of that up and then jumped into Gemini CLI through the terminal. And remember, Gemini CLI is a terminal agent, so you can chat with it through the terminal instead of opening another application or a web browser. So I jumped in, asked it my question, and it went off to do its things. It was definitely a less scary experience. I felt like I was more in control of what was going on. So once the agent was done doing what it needed to do, so it came back to me and said, these are the changes, do I want to accept them or not? And all I had to do is press enter in order to accept them. After pressing enter, it thought for a bit, and then it came back to me, which is something new over here, and asked me, can it run this command in the terminal? So because I'm working with Docker, it asked me to run a build command. Docker developers, you should know what that's all about. And I thought, okay, this is cool, this is interesting. Let me just press enter again to accept it. So I pressed enter, it ran it, but then it failed again. So without me even asking, the Gemini agent went off, made some changes to the code, came back to me. Do I want to accept these changes? I pressed enter. After making the changes, it came back and said, can I run this command? I pressed enter again. So I ran into this crazy loop where it would go back, think, make changes to the code, ask me if I want to accept. I press enter, it comes back, can I run this command? I press enter. So it was just me pressing enter for a good 10 times while working with this agent. And still it wasn't working. And it started feeling like a casino to me. Me sitting at the slot machines, hitting spin, trying to wait for that jackpot to come in. And I thought, no, this is not programming. This is not the kind of experience that I like. So anyway, I thought, you know what? Gemini is sitting in a loop over here. I'm going to leave what he's doing. I went back and it took me like 5 minutes to fix this, just with a quick Google search. And I went over to Reddit and read one post and found what the issue was. So moral of the story, AIs are not going to replace developers anytime soon. And don't listen to these tech CEOs speaking about their end time stories to say all development jobs are going to be gone in the next 5 months or whatever they speak about right now. Let me know when you've been using an agent. Have you had such an experience? Have you had such a feeling on your side? Thank you so much for listening, and let's keep working hard, Mzansi.